The Niners finally made a defensive coordinator hire. They promoted Nick Sorensen from within, and they brought in a big name, Brandon Staley, as an associate head coach. And obviously, he's going to help with the defense. And I know Staley gets stigmatized because of his time as head coach of the Chargers, but he's not a head coach with the Niners. He's going to help infuse some fresh ideas into the defense. I always thought he was one of the best defensive game planners in the league. He just didn't really have the horses in LA, and the Chargers stars were always hurt, and they did not have a lot of depth. And if you remember, Staley's from the Fangio tree, and the Niners defense really didn't take off until 2019 when Robert Saleh started infusing some of those Fangio-esque ideas into his defense and adding some disguises. So now you get the Seattle cover 3 world with Sorensen, who's going to continue what the Niners did, and you get some fresh ideas from Staley.
So Kyle Shanahan has always wanted to implement the Seattle system with the Niners because it allows defensive linemen to get upfield and single gap. But there's always been a factuation with the Fangio system. I think in 2018, Shanahan said Fangio was the toughest defensive coordinator to go against, and part of that is because of all the disguising he does and starting out in a 4-high shell and rotating to different coverages. In 2019, they really started to tweak their system with Robert Saleh. You've seen this clip here from 2019. The defense starts in a 2-high, but it's going to rotate down into a cover 3. And it's really hard for the quarterback to read that because you can see how slow that rotation is. And the quarterback has to make real-time mental adjustments as he's reading the coverages. And that's where Staley comes in. Like I mentioned, he is a Fangio disciple, so he's going to help meld some of those coverage ideas with what the Niners do already. And I think Staley really impressed Shanahan last year when the Chargers played the Niners in the regular season and they held Christian McCaffrey to only 2.7 yards per carry. They did it with a front that was riddled with injuries and they were losing defensive tackles in the game. But they did a good job of mixing up their fronts. You can see here they're going to start in a 4-man front. After the offense motions, they're going to get into a 6-1. And it really kind of messed with the Niners' blocking scheme and gave them a lot of trouble. And if that looked familiar, that's exactly what the Chiefs did to the Niners in the Super Bowl. So Staley's a good defensive game planner. I think he's going to help Sorensen with that aspect. So I'm really interested to see how this partnership works. And I think Shanahan made a good decision, and it's going to be one of the more interesting things to watch this season.